Last time on Just to See How Far It Is.
Enjoy taking in, guys.
Check your skill. Hey, you should have played for Bafana. There's Banyana. I wonder what the dog side's called.
Well, sorry about that.
I'm not a good loser. You whipped my ass.
My pool isn't that crap.
No, your pool's actually very good. And you, nice one, thank you. What is
Condolences.
Is this what losers
You know
do?
tequila,
Yes, a
she
nice
makes
shot
you
of
happy.
tequila.
Hang on, 31. Nothing, eh? The desolation is overwhelming. This is Tankwa, Karoo National Park. When I was asking you guys for places I should visit, so many of you suggested I come here, and I'm glad I have. I mean, there are no gates or fences restricting access to Tankwa, but obviously with the dogs we're not allowed to overnight here, and a lot of people do. I can just imagine pitching a tent, spending the night out here. It's eerily quiet, just the wind blowing, and the stars at night must be incredible. But it's crazy because you look around here and there seems to be no evidence of man's footprint. And then obviously little telltale signs that people do actually live out here would be things like the little telephone pole that runs through. And when we're driving through, I'm thinking, who the hell lives here? And you see windmills and you see a couple of pockets of settlements, so people are living here and, I don't know, farming what? Stones? I don't know. But it is unbelievably peaceful. I think it makes you reassess just how much cuck we cause on the environment, because yeah, it feels like man hasn't been around. I like it. And when you chat to Isuzu D-Max owners, they're always raving about how good these cars are on gravel road conditions, and to be fair, we've probably spent about 90% of our driving on gravel, and I kind of get the point. As I mentioned to you earlier, we're running way low on our general grabbers, and these roads are pretty heavily corrugated with Tankwa, because I can imagine people are whipping through here, and it is super comfortable. I've actually flipped it onto 4 high, so I've got no concerns in terms of the additional safety that comes with running with the all-wheel drive system. But there's something that I want to clear the air on. I've been a bit of a chop, to be honest. I think I got caught up in this whole adventure thing, and as we were driving along, we started noticing, signboards with people putting their stickers on there. And we had bumper stickers, and we thought, hey, it'll be cool, let's put it up there. For a moment, think that, Marius, you idiots, you're actually vandalizing road signs, and it's not the cool thing to do. And one of my followers on Facebook brought it to my attention, actually shared a link with the SA mountain passes, which actually were dealing with this issue, because a lot of the road signs now have got so many stickers on that you can't actually even see what the sign is saying. What they were recommending, if you want to do it, put it on the back, which makes complete sense. So sorry for being insensitive and for doing things that were a little bit stupid. I just honestly did not even think about it. So let that be, I think, a lesson for all of us, that if you want to go and leave your mark in terms of memories and photographs that you want to share with people, and if you want to put a stick on, put it on the back of the sign. So thanks for the heads up on that, guys, and sorry for upsetting people. Getting to our next destination was a total trust test. It wasn't a case of just entering a coordinate into my Garmin. Instead, I had a few coordinate checkpoints that I had to navigate through, or I'd pretty much find myself locked on the wrong side of a couple of farm gates. With no cell signal, the signboards certainly were a wonderful validation. Now, I had no idea where we were going, but I guess the name of the farm should have been a dead giveaway. What an incredible setting at the foot of the Skoorsteenberg. And a sunset I'll never forget. What a day. I made it to the Tankwa. You hungry, boy? You've had your breakfast. Jamie boy. Are you chilling, boy? Is it nice in the sun? Do you want a sweetie? Do you want a sweetie? Okay. Here we go. Good boy. And Mila Moo. Where's Mila?
Yeah.
There's Mila Moo. Look at that baby girl. Oh, little cutie. Oscar. Oscar, yeah. Nicely, eh? Nicely, boy. Nicely. Nicely. That's very, very good.
It's so yummy.
Well done. We've made it to halfway. It's day 15 and we're sitting in the beautiful Tankwa Karoo. I had a bit of a wobble here, so I'm not going to lie. We had it pretty convenient in Sutherland. We had just checked into a pet-friendly guest house. And then the drive through the Tankwa was amazing yesterday, and we arrived here at Skoorsteenberg farm and cottages. And I was like, oh, do I really have to pitch a tent? Do I have to? It's so convenient just to check into one of their cottages, and I was just, not in a good space. Anyway, glad that we did decide to pitch the tent. And you'll see I'm not a big 4x4 expert, but I've learned a few things on the way. Found some stones, jacked the D-Max up so it's nice and level, because the last thing you want to be doing is rolling off the end of your rooftop tent. But we are set up here, and I'm so glad that I did, because nature always has a way to tell you, hey dude, I've got a special story for you. We were blessed with the most incredible sunset last night, like mind-blowing, couldn't actually quite believe it. And then you wake up this morning to just peace and quiet and nothing. So we're going to stay here, not just for one night, but for two. Because we've set up a really cool little editing area in the stables, and we're going to catch up on all the work and figure out where to go to from here. It's halfway. We should be turning around and thinking about heading home yet, but I haven't got to Port Nolloth, and that's where I want to go. So that's the plan. I love the story. So lockdown, came here for how many days?
Came here, well, we were supposed to be here for 2 days. And
now it's been 2 months.
Yeah, it's been 2 months. We camped on your campsite for 16 days, and then we moved into the house.
So you're actually running everything here at Skoorsteenberg Farms at the moment?
Yeah, I think for the moment while the owner's in Cape Town.
Yeah.
And then as soon as she gets back, just she'll take over running and operations, and then I just go back to being maintenance manager like always.
What makes this farm and this location so special? Besides the mountains, I mean, you're driving, there literally is nothing here.
Yeah.
But there is so much here. You went gallivanting up the mountains, and we need to go and do that ourselves tomorrow. What's up there?
A couple of waterfalls, dry ones. Lots of them.
So waterfalls.
Yeah, waterfalls.
Because it's been dry here for how long now? Like 8 years?
7 to 8 years, yeah. So
Crazy,
what they
man.
say. And I don't know, the answer to your question would be complete silence.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, when the wind doesn't blow here, you come from the town and it's crazy.
Yeah.
And then you just come to this. And how can you not? Look at that view.
No.
I mean, we're standing looking at that. But you saw
The sunset was unbelievable. It's also quite unnerving sometimes, I think, for city folks to have nothing to do.
Absolutely.
To have no connectivity. I love it. I don't want to hear my phone. But it's quite unsettling in the beginning because it is like,
It's heaven.
what are we going to do to 100%? But up there, Bushman paintings, you were saying?
There are Bushman paintings, but we've got to go and look for them because the owner has given us a hand sketch. But I've just got to go up. I've got a little spray paint as well, so I just want to go and mark it out.
Because, I mean, that in itself is a massive draw card for people coming here. And we saw guests flew in here now, so that's what's cool. If you don't want to do the drive, you can fly.
Yeah, we've got the airstrip and the hangar. I mean, that's what everyone that flies in here, that's all they can talk about is the fact that they actually get a hangar.
That's so cool that you can fly into a place like this. Notice, I mean, we actually said when we arrived yesterday, I was like in a bit of a nowhere mood, just trying to figure out, do I want to camp again? Because you get lazy, you know. It's actually sometimes you just don't feel like it. But boy, are we glad we did. It's really fantastic. Eh?
And I'm glad the weather played the part.
And how's our little workstation we've got?
Absolutely,
here?
I think you've
Impressive.
hooked it up properly.
Impressive.
Even the pup is loving life.
See, I've also got to work out how much time I've got left to go up the west coast. But I mean, it's cool. You've done all this area. I mean, you flip and plotted everything.
You've got to do De Mont. De Mont is just...
It looks amazing.
It's
like
because it's
oasis.
a proper oasis in the Tankwa, you know. And then come back, but those two passes you've got to do too. I mean, that cut buckies is truly a spectacular.
But you see, that's what's so lucky with this is, I mean, wherever we've gone, you know, I've got in my head an idea of the route that I want to go, but there's nothing better than meeting people that have done it.
Yeah.
And they go, no, that's cuck. Go this way, this one's better. No, because it is. Because, I mean, so far, so much of what I've planned in my head has kind of been there, but the routes haven't.
Yeah.
Feels like I'm back in Port Elizabeth. Who would have known that the Tankwa is like the windy city of the Karoo? Unbelievable. I'd hate to end up at the west coast overnight. Survived. More importantly, the tent survived. What a proper test. Jeez, it was windy last night. And now it's calm. Bizarre. This is it, the second of the waterfalls on our climb. It's incredible, arid. Reckon they haven't had rain here for 7 or 8 years. Have a look at how green it is, and water seeping out the rocks. So there is water deep down, a couple of springs on the climb as well. It's incredible. Now go up here, boy. Yeah. Let's go. Come up here. Good boy. Biggest bug. Okay. Come on, you can do it. It's happened again. We had absolutely no idea what we would find coming to Skoorsteenberg farm. Haven't been to the Tankwa, and look at what we've discovered. Unbelievable. Leaving here with no idea where I'm going to next, but I'm starting to enjoy that, just going with the flow. Crazy, it's day 16 already, and we're still in the Karoo essentially. Yes, there's an awesome place we were told to go to, basically the oasis in the Tankwa called Demond, but we're just out of time. I've got to get to the west coast, I've got to get some surfing done, and I want to go back to Airlines Bay. I haven't been there for a very long time, so we're going to try and push through. There's apparently a really beautiful mountain pass not too far from Tankwa Patstal, where we are now. Fun, baby. Are you driving? You're driving with Dad. Now, I have been really fortunate to have traveled a lot, both locally and abroad. But these past few days have all been first sightings and experiences for me. But I reckon even if this was my 50th time traveling along this route, I would still be in absolute awe. Yeah, I know you may want to race along the German autobahns, but I guarantee you want to slow down time along the South African byways. And then we're going to club a right, and it'll take us through to Citrusdale and from there to Airlines Bay. So we're going to push hard, probably get there this evening, and hopefully be able to wake up for a surf in the morning. Just insane. We live in such a diverse country. To think this morning we were hiking in the Tankwa, hopped in a car, and like maybe 120 kilometers later we had a completely different landscape, crossed over to Cedarburg, heading to Citrusdale. Destination, as I said earlier, is Airlines Bay because I've got to be surfing in the morning. But the ball ache is actually trying to find fitting accommodation. We haven't struggled at all on this trip until now. And you know, you go and Google, obviously pet friendly is crucial. You're looking for pet friendly accommodation. There's a caravan park there, so that is an option. But all the other places, no flipping contact numbers, all linked through letting agents. So they want you to email. Yeah, right, email. I'm driving, and I've only now just found signal. Bizarre. It's almost like they don't want people to come and stay. Anyway, we'll make a plan. Leave it to the fairies. It's good to finally be able to take the board off my roof, not to go paddling a Karoo lake and dam, but actually go surf. The fins in and see what we can find at Airlines Bay. So we got into Elands pretty late, and I did a quick check on the weather, and it said it's lovely and calm, but we arrived here, it was flippin' blowing gales. So the idea of camping at the Airlines Bay caravan park was out the window. We ended up needing to find a place to stay that was pet friendly, that wasn't camping. My mate Paul hooked us up, so we're actually staying at Airlines Bay guest house, which is actually really, really cool. Nice short walk to the beach. Geez, I haven't surfed Elands in, well, like forever, maybe over 20 years. It's a really, really amazing left-hand point break. Obviously, living in PE, we've got Jeffreys Bay, the right-hand point break, very close to us. But the sad news is that even though Elands is always super consistent, I went onto one of the surf prediction apps and had a look around, and yeah, the forecast for the week is dismal. So it looks like I'm going to have a repeat of Vic Bay. I might have to just go for a paddle. At least the wind stopped blowing, but you can look, it's less than ideal for surf. But the full suits come out because it is flipping cold in the jet up the west coast. The kelp's always a giveaway. They reckon 15 degrees. Oh, geez, ice cream headaches, here we come. Look, clearly I've obviously done something to really annoy the surf gods. Another day, another paddle. But the pups were super stoked to hit the beach again. What you got? What you got? Mila's on a very healthy diet. Are you Japanese? Or are you a Kelpie? Isn't that a type of dog? Before continuing our adventures, I had a chat with the owner of the Airlines Bay guest house.
I came up here for a 30th birthday party in 2001 and decided I want to buy land. So I bought a beachfront plot here, and about 3 years later, in that property boom, I saw this guest house on the market in the weekend August, and I said to Audrey, my partner, I said, geez, Audrey, that's a good price. And then it was in the August again, 3 weeks later, I said, geez, Audrey, I must go have a look at this. And I bought it, and the rest is history. Then I moved up here permanently only about 3.5 years ago, because I had a daughter who had to matriculate in Cape Town, and no, I'm here and I'll never, ever, ever go back to the city. The lockdown thing has been unbelievable. Obviously March and April there was nothing, and then we started operating in June. And the amount of people, because of the ban on international travel, we have Durban families coming down, we have like the really well-to-do families from Camps Bay who'd been normally spending their 3 weeks in Bali, you know, are now coming to Airlines Bay, and not once they're repeating their visits, you know. There definitely has been a swing to local travel, without a doubt.
Paul, I mean, that's the whole idea with our little adventure, just to see how far it is to get people to realize what an amazing country we live in. And we're not talking Cape Town, Marius, Plettenberg Bay. Little towns like Elands and heading up Lambert's Bay, Honderklip Bay, incredible.
Unbelievable. I mean, I have no desire to travel overseas. There's so much here.
Where have you been?
I've been escaping humanity where there's no cell phone. The way I describe the place to go to, there's no toilet, there's no tree, and there's no tap. So no one can ever get hold of you, and no telephone, that's on. No toilet, no tree, no tap, no telephone. And it's about 204 kilometers north of where I am now in Airlines Bay.
Okay.
On the coast, it's a bit of a double-edged sword. I'm all for like protecting the coastal zone, but this stretch of coast has been raped by the mining from De Beers and all those guys for the last 40, 50, 60 years. So there's a lot of damage up there already, and it's been a big crayfish sort of destination. There's no
And there are no laws there either, I imagine, because I mean, it's the wild, wild west coast.
There's very little control. The pitch raider was the crayfish inspector there for years, and pitch raider is now the manager of the Namakula National Park. Okay. So Peter's tried his best over the years to try and get control of that stretch of coast, but one man in that stretch is impossible.
Yeah.
So the rape continues. In fact, now sometimes just even diving, like in 10 meters, I can't find crayfish.
Scary,
and this is like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. So when we head out now, I'm going to head up Lambert's Bay, destination I want to clip by. There's a place somewhere between here and there that we can just go and find a spot on the beach and wild camp.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, you're going to have to take everything with you. There's a farm called Waterfalls up there, which Bram and Therese Nevert have taken control of their stretch of coastline and tried to have some sort of control over the people accessing it.
Okay.
And it's well worth a visit. You'll absolutely love it. You'll want to go back. I can guarantee it.
Might never leave. So sweet, you know the story when you see a tortoise crossing and you do want to help it across the road, head it in the same direction it was going, otherwise it's going to go back where it started from. This little road to Lambert's, guys are whipping past, so easy to flatten one of those, but safe passage guaranteed. You know, what Paul had described to me, it seemed like it was too good to be true. But there was this look that he had in his eyes. It was almost like he knew that he was passing on the secret to a truly happy life. With each kilometer, the anticipation grew. This was the real deal. This was the West Coast that I'd only ever imagined. a son of the sea, I had never felt so at peace before. This is amazing, seriously. I don't like to pick favorites, but our trip isn't over. But I mean, how do you honestly beat this? It's just special. Next time on Just to See How Far It Is. Being out here in the wild makes you realize all you need are the essentials.